This is obviously a chance for another charity partner for the club. It's pretty important. So they do good deeds too, don't they?
Yeah, so Food Bank is a great initiative. We're in partnership with the Lions. They put on 40 million feeds for over 1,000 schools around the country. So yeah, obviously a great initiative, and yeah, I'm happy to be supporting them.
Obviously the kids are loving having you guys.
Yeah, it's good. It's always good to get to schools and see kids, especially like these ones. They've all got smiles on their face and all very happy. So it's a pleasure to come out to schools and get involved in the community.
What do you want from the last week for you guys?
I think we just want to finish off the year strongly as a group, and I think just get some positivity back in the group and really build that into the off-season. So,
Dan, do you see what the Dogs have done and how quickly they've turned it around, and does that give you encouragement that clubs can turn things around quickly and climb out of the cellar pretty quickly and up towards the 8?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's happened in previous years with Port Adelaide as well. A few people, a few changes in the club can definitely have a big influence, and as you can see already, a few changes around the club, and I think it'll be for the better. And yeah, so I think 2016 will be a very good year for us.
Speaking of changes, Rocky, are you confident that Reddo will stay, or what's your take on the whole Reddo?
Yeah, I had a good chat to Reddo Monday, obviously before it all came out and so on. Pretty devastating news, obviously one of my best mates, and when he tells you that he sort of wants to move on and so on, he's obviously a pretty deep thinker, and he obviously thought about it a fair bit, so it's important that Jack makes the right decision for him. He's been a great servant of the club over the 7 years. You know what you get. He's a really likeable character around the change rooms and so on, so he's probably the most respected at the way he goes about it, and hard working, so we'd love to keep him. I'd be happy to swap salaries and so on with him to keep him, but that's a decision that Jack needs to make, and what he sees the best for his future and well-being.
So why do you think he wants to leave then, Tom?
It could be a number of reasons. Obviously I've had a good chat, and out of respect to Jack, that's up to him to probably have that conversation with you guys, and if he wants to have that. But all in all, he probably wants to chase some success, and I'm not sure of the exact reasons, and I'm sure it'll probably come out one day, and he can talk to you about that. But our main focus is to try and keep him if he does want to stay, and if we can change his mind. He seems pretty set on it at the moment, so we'll see how we go.
He's obviously not the only one that people have been talking about leaving. Does it feel different to a couple of years ago, or do you think it's the same kind of thing?
Yeah, it definitely feels a bit different. I think a couple of years ago there was only sort of the 5 second-year boys, that second and third-year players that wanted to leave, where this year it's probably a little bit more of our experienced guys that have either been told by the footy club, or at the moment obviously Reddo's came out and said that he wants to trade. So it does feel a little bit different. It's important that we keep as much experience on our list as we can. I think you look at across the board, we're asking Dan McStay, who's a 19-year-old, to play centre-half forward for 3/4 of the year for us. So we definitely do need some experience, and I think the club will get that done throughout the trade period. We'll get some more experience in, and we'd obviously love to retain our 100-game plus players that we want to keep. So I'm sure that Schwabby will get what he wants to get done through that trade period, and also with the retention thing.
So you're not worried about what's happened this week?
Oh, obviously it's disappointing. Obviously Reddo is my best mate, so it does make it hard when he says that. So obviously we have to have a look at the way we do things around the footy club, and if he's upset, then obviously we need to improve in some areas of our footy club to make sure that we can retain them and keep players happy.
Tom, you must realise sort of from the outside it's not a great look when your best mate decides to leave the club. What can you do to try and turn him around, and how does that impact on you personally?
Yeah, as I said, I'd offered to swap, and it's not so much. I don't think there's really anything I can do, to be honest, to change his mind. It's his issue. His issues are with other things within the footy club. So it's important that he sorts them out, and if the club wants to sort them out, that'll happen, and we'll go from there. And it is disappointing. Obviously, I spoke to him at length. I had a coffee with him on Monday afternoon. Ended up spending the night at his house. Went round. and spent the whole night there with him, and ended up going home later that evening. So it was pretty hard to swallow, and it wasn't easy for him to make that decision either. He's given it a long period of thought and came to that decision. So as we sit here right now, he's obviously requested that. Obviously, we'd love to change his mind. Obviously, Dane Beams lives a couple of doors down as well, and he wants to change his mind. He's only been here for 9 months, but he sees Reddo as a very valuable player for our footy club, and a highly respected and really likeable fella amongst our change rooms.
You concerned that others might follow?
That's probably the concern at the moment. Yeah, I think when one goes, you're always worried, and when you get to this time of the season, there's always the is he going to go, is he not going to go sort of thing, and there's speculation about a lot of players, and we don't know until they come and tell us, or we get the facts. So majority speaking, I think most of the group's pretty happy and can see the future and where we're heading, and there might be the odd couple that can't, and obviously the footy club's decided to move on a couple as well, so it does make it challenging, and that's the environment we live in these days. I think back 20 years ago there wasn't as much player movement, but you see it more and more now, where even last year Tom Boyd for the Giants, who's a first-year player, walks out to another club. So, as I said, we'll do everything to retain as many players that we want to keep at the footy club, and that's our most important thing.
Dan, what's the feeling with the younger guys? I mean, do you feel like there's a good vibe around the club?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can tell from my age group, barring one, everyone signed on and seems very happy. And I guess the year below me as well, so the first year's obviously a lot of Queensland prospects. So I guess that helps them want to stay in Brisbane where they live. So, but I think we've got a group of about 19 that we've drafted in the last 2 years. So that's a big part of your football club, and we're all pretty happy and all kind of settling in nicely. So I feel like going forward, we could be the group to take this club where it needs to go.
Tom, has it been your hardest period?
Yeah, this has been the toughest year I've ever had. Can remember not only the injuries, first year captain, and challenged throughout the season, no doubt. It's had individual challenges, but I can't remember a year like this where we started to improve last year, and obviously injuries and stuff have taken their toll. We've got quite a young group, but to be sitting on the bottom of the ladder, 3 wins after we felt like we were sort of moving forward, it's probably a little kick in the guts. But in saying that, we don't think we're that far away either. We think we probably could have won a few of those games and could have won 7 or 8 games this season. So with a full team on the park, a full pre-season, we've obviously got some new people coming into the footy club and some leaving. So it's one of those tricky years. I have good relationships with the people that are leaving and the people that are coming as well. So it has made it one of those tricky ones, and you've just got to get the balance right and make sure that we continue to push on.
It's been a little bit personal for you too, isn't it, the last couple of weeks? Has that hurt in particular?
Yes and no. I think once I seek the clarity and the feedback from the playing group and within the 4 walls, I knew that I was comfortable with where I sat amongst the group and the leadership and so on, and the boys, the way I went about it. So inside the footy club and to most people outside the footy club that I have a relationship with can see where I stand and my values and so on. So it hasn't been challenging from that front, but when there's that media speculation, even I heard somewhere yesterday that Reddo's leaving because of me, and it's just like, well, I can blatantly say that's not the truth. So I know where I sit comfortably. I think that the group's on the right track. Lepta's doing a good job as a senior coach, so it's important that we continue to push on and get those results that we want.